how do we play in this space where a lot of the hemp programs have almost no regulations and oversight? You can produce the same darn product. So what does regulatory parity look like? Let's test smarter, not harder.
Obviously, avoiding that was beneficial for us because we're already burdened with so many costs just to get started.
It's so difficult. And then, you think about the regulatory parity and what you've been talking about with like not having more regulations. I think about the hemp space, and that is such a charged third rail these days. You can't say that without just having lots of emotions, right? How do we play in this space where a lot of the hemp programs have almost no regulations and oversight? You can produce the same darn product. So what does regulatory parity look like? Let's test smarter, not harder. I think there's a lot of opportunities there to come together.
So let's dive into that a little bit because we actually operate in both, right? And it's funny because I don't talk really much about the hemp side because in Massachusetts, it is really frowned upon. In fact, we may have lost a few of our dispensary partners because they knew we were in hemp. That can't be confirmed 100%, which stinks because we're like the local guys who are trying to do the right thing, who are doing full lab tests, who are only putting it into 21 plus areas, et cetera, et cetera. So for us, we felt kind of like blindsided by it because we're like, no, we're the good guys. We're like trying to do it the right way. And yes, dispensaries want to obviously have that kind of foothold into all cannabis related things or THC related things. But for us, we're kind of just like, we're born from the idea of giving access to people. And it's really just about getting access for us. So we're just like, hey, this is another way we can get our products in front of more people, which they can get the benefits of cannabis. And so from our perspective, we were like, I don't want to step on the stool and be righteous about it, but like we were trying to do the best thing possible for the consumer by doing everything the right way. But we know it only hurt us. It didn't hurt anybody else, which stinks. We're literally the only artifact of that departure because when all the products got removed off the shelves in Massachusetts for hemp, the hemp side of things, and by shelves I mean liquor stores, like you have the big players like a Cycling Frog, a Can, and all the other companies, they can survive stuff like that. For us, that's a huge setback. It costs us tens of thousands of dollars to pull all that product back, and it buried us for quite a while. And our hemp company is still, which is a fraction of our cannabis business, it really hurt. And so it stinks from our perspective, but we roll with the punches. We're still in hemp. We still have our products in hemp, and it is about access for us. And for the most part, we're going to be doing things the right way, regardless of what people think of us, right? But there's a lot of companies out there in the hemp side who are just like, it tested? Yeah, sure. Here's like a fuzzy photocopy of a COA that's kind of blurred out in a few places. And it's just like, what's in here? You don't know.
Right. That's a perfect example of the unintended consequences of, it takes one bad apple, right, to kind of ruin the whole bunch. And so that's what we've been seeing in this space where, I look at what you're doing. I look at, I don't know if you've been to Minnesota where I've
never been to the places, but people are trying to always bring us into it. But I'm like, we're small. We can't afford to be in straight states all the time.
Yeah, and access to distribution, right? The supply chain channels is a major barrier. So I look at Minnesota where 5 milligrams of THC per serving is allowed now in beverages, and who's producing them? It's the breweries. You've got Surly Brewing, you've got Ben Paddle, you've got all these breweries that understand food safety. They have perfected their craft of beverages, and by adding emulsifiers or et cetera, right?
It's just another ingredient.
It's just another ingredient.
Right? Exactly. Adding hops. It's just like, all right, we're going to add this to this step now, and then we're moving through because we have GMP in place. We're going to make sure that all this gets done correctly.